Hi and welcome to a new show that we're doing on Real Opinions. It's Defend That Movie. So basically we're going to take it in turns. Each one's going to have a point to defend a movie, and then the other one's got to argue against it, and in the end I'll pick if you've won the point or if you've lost the point.
And the basic kind of principle is that these are bad films we're defending, like The Room. These are bad that are kind of just bad.
This week's movie is Spiderman 3. Who wants to go first?
Alphabetically. Okay, Ben goes first. Okay, my first point, Sam Raimi is a very talented director. That's just throw that out. He's made some of the best films ever made, arguably, especially genre films. The first two Spider-Man films are among the best superhero films ever made. And Spider-Man 3 kind of continues that trend in its action sequences. The action sequences throughout this film are incredible to watch. Let me finish my point, even when things narratively aren't necessarily going well and it's a little bit jumbled, the action sequences always remain on point.
May I?
You tell me, okay.
The CGI is
dirty. Call me dirty.
The CGI is really, really wobbly. Like, it's bad. And
I
it's
wouldn't go so
overused.
far as bad.
Oh wait,
do you remember it was made nearly 10 years ago.
It was bad at the time. Do you remember the bit where he's the first fight against Peter and Harry, where he's not in his Spider-Man suit?
Yeah.
They're all CGI, and you're watching a CGI Tobey Maguire. It's really bad. Then there's there's close-ups on when Sandman's like individual particles when he first turns into Sandman, and you're getting really close into them. It's really bad. It's really bad CGI at times. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's passable. Sometimes it's almost good, but sometimes it's bad, and that ruins the action
I wouldn't even
sequences.
go so far as to say that sometimes it's passable. I think a lot of the time, especially when I first saw this, when I was 12 years old when this first came out, I was in awe of some of these big action sequences, especially Venom. Venom is done so well in this film in terms of look.
Is he?
Yeah,
I
think
think
some of
he
the
looks
action
too
battles
thin.
with Venom, there was genuine peril there as well.
Oh, see, that was my next point.
was
That there isn't genuine peril.
No, as long as the CGI is kind of like, I'd say at the very least it's passable. I would never say it's bad. It never took me out of the experience. I never sat there going, "Oh, this CGI is terrible."
It's not. I didn't say terrible, but like when
You said
especially
it's bad.
It's bad. I do think it's bad. Especially when it's
I never
the faces.
noticed that it was bad.
Like when he's got his suit on, it's not as noticeable. But when you're seeing his CGI face, it's really dodgy, and sometimes it's close-ups as well.
I think a lot
like
of that,
when he's going to grab the ring, and it's just there, and you're like, how can you proudly put that in front of us?
I think a lot of this though comes from the fact that we're kind of spoiled now for CGI.
No,
CGI
is bad at the time. I remember thinking at the time.
I honestly at the time I don't remember having any problems
maybe
with
you're a
that.
stupid kid.
Now you're just attacking my personal. I was a very intelligent child.
I gave you a point, but you dumb.
No, and the second thing is I don't actually think there's any sense of peril at all.
Really?
No.
People die in this movie. People straight up die. Harry Osborn,
Apart from Harry, but a villain. And he dies by
Sandman
self-sacrifice.
pretty much dies.
No, he doesn't. He leaves.
Does he?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
he just fucked off at the
He
end.
blows away in the wind.
It's the most...
In a way, that's almost dying.
No, it's not. He's very alive. He's one with the
what
whale.
I'm
Just
getting
a Bob
at-
Dylan moment.
What I'm getting at is
No, only one person dies, and he's a bad guy.
it's still pretty like this is the end of a trilogy. I mean,
It wasn't supposed to be.
I know they were planning on more, but at the same time, a second film you're always thinking there's always going to probably be another one.
I'd say the second one has more threat.
It's very possible that the end of a trilogy, things can happen, things can switch up. I mean, as a 12-year-old...
Stop quoting Scream 3.
As a 12-year-old, I was genuinely scared for Spider-Man's life. And especially people like Mary Jane as well, they're expendable in a situation like this. Especially when they introduce Gwen Stacy in this film as well. It's kind of shunning one love interest out for another one. There is possibility that serious shit could have been shaken up here. And I mean, I know it didn't, but that's down to narrative, not down to the whole action sequences. So I think action sequences still have their weight. They're still, and especially considering how much of a physical threat Venom is. Considering
They never substantiate how much of a threat he is.
I think
he doesn't do anything.
He's more considerable than... So even just looking at his powers, how he can infiltrate people's minds as well as much as how much of a physical threat he is. That peril is always there.
And my point is that the Venom storyline, which exists in the comic books, it exists in the films before, and it's always been the best. It's always been like the key Spider-Man story. And okay, it's definitely not executed as well as it should have been. But it's still, at the basic premise of it, it's still a really interesting dynamic between a hero and a villain, and it's got the really cool bit in the church, which is actually cool, and generally the black suit stuff, the Venom stuff, it's a cool story. It's not done as well as it should be, but it's an interesting premise, and it's a bit different to the usual, there's a scientist, he invents something, and it sends him a bit crazy that you have with the Lizard, Doc Ock, both Green Goblins to an extent. I know Harry didn't invent stuff, but it's a different kind of premise, and yeah.
To negate your coolness, I get where you're coming from, because I love the character of Venom.
He's the best villain. If
Arguably
he's done well.
the best villain,
If
yeah. And I think visually, yeah. But 2 words completely negate.
If those words are Topher Grace,
those words are fucking Topher Grace.
Okay.
Topher Grace is arguably probably one of the worst actors in Hollywood at the moment.
You're attacking him like he's
No, right? At best, he is forgettable.
forgettable. There you go.
At best, he is
forgettable. He's not.
When
He was in Interstellar,
he
he was
is
fine.
portraying, yeah.
Who's in just
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
So fucking forgettable.
That was
And-
forgettable. Not you said he was one of the worst actors in
Yeah,
Hollywood.
when he's at his worst,
Objection!
at his best, he's forgettable. When he is portraying arguably the best Spider-Man villain there is, he just does not match up at all. This guy has got to be driven. The whole point of Eddie Brock, the whole point of the Venom transformation, he's supposed to be a dick that's transformed into a psychopath.
But that's the suit. That's when he's in the suit.
Exactly, the suit transforms him into a psychopath. But Topher Grace is still playing that part. Topher Grace plays Eddie Brock and Venom.
Yeah.
He plays Eddie Brock fine, at most forgettably.
Yeah.
But when he plays Venom, it just comes across as, like, not even cartoonishly silly, because that would work. Almost pantomimingly stupid.
Like what?
When he does those evil, like, when his face comes through the mouth, it just looks
Okay, have you
ridiculous.
seen the other Spider-Man films? Willem Dafoe talking
I
to
know,
himself
but
in the mirror, like
he-
crawling on all
He
these.
works for it.
There's a bit,
He's
there's
got
a
the
bit-
crazy eyes.
There's a bit in the first Spider-Man where he genuinely looks at himself in the mirror and goes...
Willem Dafoe has the fucking crazy eyes, alright? Alfred Molina has that kind of grand theatricality to the whole Doc Ock.
Not everyone's
which
as
really
good as
works.
Doc Ock.
No, but Topher Grace is so far below all of
this.
them.
Okay, so we'll just summarise our points then. So do you wanna-
Yep. Yeah, the action sequences are still as wonderfully directed as Sam Raimi has proven throughout his ridiculous.
Would you say they're as good as the first? Sorry, I didn't know. Were you saying they're as good as the ones in number 2?
They're still
and 2?
really good.
Are you saying as good though?
Does it matter?
Yes.
Okay, I wouldn't say as good, but they're still ridiculously good for the quality of the overall film.
And my thing is just that the Venom storyline has a lot of potential and some generally good moments, like in the church.
Other than when Topher Grace.
Right, wrap up. I think I'm going to go with Ben's point. Just because
You're
a
stupid
lot.
too.
His point was that, so they did something in the film that was good and well done, and then it felt like a lot of your point was that it had a good potential for a story, and it did have a good villain. It just it didn't live up to its potential. Whereas Ben's point was more that although overall it sucked a bit, it's got moments.
Can you
of
actually
fun.
acknowledge though the action sequences aren't very good?
Second point then.
Harrison, do you want to
Me
go
first? Okay, my point is it's a small thing, but it's a thing that I don't think there's any argument against, and that is that J. Jonah Jameson is still funny. He's still funny, and he's still as good as he was in the last few films. And he's one of the few things, like, when everything else sort of seems to go to hell, he's one of the few things that actually, you're as good as you were before. As J.K. Simmons is still really good. It's not a massive thing. Before, like, you know, you take it, it doesn't. It's only a very small part of the film, but it's a small part of the film that's done well.
Favourite parts of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. I think it's definitely something that was missing from the Mark Webb ones as well, and I really like him. Having said that, I have to blow up that point that you just said. Just saying it doesn't prevent it from being true. J. Jonah Jameson is a tiny part of this film.
But
he is a nearly insignificant
he is a
part of this film.
He is a tiny piece of gold in the giant stinking turd.
But it's still a fucking turd.
Yeah,
you can't take
whatever
one
you
part out
say,
and go,
it's
look, this bit makes the whole thing so much better.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It's like
But
me spitting in some soup. and saying, look, it still tastes delicious. This film feels very overstuffed, but at the same time, that overstuff shows that
Noting that it's overstuffed does not mean that it negates the point.
At the same time, that shows a complete dedication to the Spider-Man universe. They've really tried to throw in as much Spider-Man lore and try and get as involved with the whole Spider-Man world as possible. Mm-hmm. And although I think there's probably one villain too many, at the same time, they've gone out of their way to get in as much detail as possible with the villains.
What do you think of the Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Right, my problems with the Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's too much going on in it. But at the same time, there's too much going on in it, and the villains aren't very well done at all.
Neither is Spider-Man 3.
No, I think
that with no for grace.
No, right.
Right, okay, so your problem with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is that it's overstuffed. But
No, my problem with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is not just that it's overstuffed, it's overstuffed with shit villains.
Why does Gwen Stacy need to be in it? Why does the need
to add that sense of peril to the fact that Mary Jane could die?
Was that ever anything anyone thought?
Yeah.
Is it just something you thought?
Gone around surveying people.
Was it just something
did
that
you go
12-year-old idiot Ben?
Did you go around cinemas going, did you like Gwen Stacy? Did you think Mary Jane could die because Gwen Stacy?
Have you?
No, you fucking didn't.
You?
Right, you're working off your own opinions. You're calling your own opinions.
You're the only one that thought she was going to die!
No, I'm saying it's possible that other people could have said
Why
the same
did we
thing.
need that? Why did we need
You're
Gwen Stacy
shutting
there?
that down.
Why did we need Gwen Stacy there? Flicked already.
It's a sense trying to tie together things from other things.
Tying together things
Trying
with
to tie
shit.
together the trilogy.
Tying it together with shit. Your argument is literally just been, yes, there's a lot of shit, but at least there's a lot of it.
My argument has been that it's not shit at all.
Yes, it is! You even said it is!
There's too much. It might not all be great, but barely any of it is shit.
Oh, really?
It's still all in
barely
it.
any of it.
The sense of Spider-Man comic book lore
is
alive and it's there.
It's so
and
rushed.
It's way better than Amazing Spider-Man 2.
You used it against
I know,
me
so we
first.
cancel each other out then, don't
Fine, we cancel each other out. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah! Ben Kip.
Okay, so your point is that one small character is really
He's
good.
done really well. His point
And
is
then
that
your
everything
point-
else is shit.
Your point is that it's overstuffed with love.
It's very clear that Sandman's where his heart is, but the studios have just gone, yeah, but also do all this too, because kids like Venom, and the kids we want to sell these toys.
I don't think kids would like Venom.
Yes, they do.
Venom's fucking
He's
terrifying.
every kid's favourite. They're like monsters. How much do you think kids are pussies?
We are clutching at straws.
We're not clutching at straws, you're clutching at poop!
I'm just going to give you a point because he didn't argue against this point very well, except for the fact that he's just a small character, which...
Okay, fair enough.
And to be fair, although I understood part of your argument, it's just there's too many negative points against it.
You're allowed flashes of brilliance. That's what J. Jonah Jameson is. A little flash.
Wouldn't you say flash of
green
brilliance?
light.
He's a flash of comic relief at best.
Well,
He's kind of that's it. It's not. Oh my god, this is. Oh, it's so good. J. Jonah Jameson makes me love cinema all over again.
Like those action sequences.
That
He's
was
not
kind
meant
of
to
funny.
give you an orgasm. An extremely
It's just a
painful one
flash
at
of
that.
brilliance.
A flash of brilliance.
You said the action sequences were amazing!
It's an explosive diarrhea of happiness.
You said the guy, you used my face.
Alright, okay! Shall I go?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my third point. Tobey Maguire is still the best Spider-Man we've seen on screen. Alright, fuck off with your Andrew Garfield love.
That's not
right. Tobey Maguire is still the best version of Peter Parker / Spider-Man we have seen on cinema screens.
Okay, that is a defence for the other two films, not this one.
No, but especially for this one.
No, not especially for this one. I can't play the dance card. I acknowledge that I cannot play the dance card. There's a bit where he's eating cookies evilly. It's good.
What you're ignoring is all the times in which he's quipping as Spider-Man, all the times in which...
When does he quip? That's Andrew Garfield's thing. He doesn't quip.
Spider-Man quips!
He cries! He just
Spider-Man
cries every time.
fucking
It's
quips.
like, every time something goes wrong, he just cries. He's an emotional wreck. And I understand there's a lot of tragedy in his life, but every time it's just like, oh, I'm having money troubles. And he just goes...
He
He
still
just weeps.
he still
And
has
he's got an awful cry face.
Alright.
Evil cookie eating!
But at the same time, you're cringing because he's this nerdy guy
That's not the
that's
intention.
trying to be cool.
That's not
Yeah, I don't think you're ever supposed to truly believe he's cool.
I do. What about
Symbiote.
when he kind of he comes upside down and kisses Gwen Stacy? He's supposed to be cool then. He's supposed to be smooth,
No, he's supposed to be pretty kind of despicable.
but he's supposed to be smooth. He's not supposed to be nerdy and awkward, is he?
And he is kind of smooth in that sequence.
He is. So is he smooth or nerdy and awkward?
He's nerdy. You're just tying it yourself.
That was good wording.
And the other bit was him playing with Elizabeth Banks.
There's nothing wrong with that
it's-
sequence.
oh, there is. Oh, there is, Ben. Oh, and the hair flick! The hair flick!
Again,
oh my
right?
god,
Again,
the hair
flick. It comes down to the fact that it's despicable and awkward and cringy, and it's supposed to be that way. An incredibly awkward teen that's turned into this incredibly
He's not a
awkward
teen,
adult. That's turned into this incredibly awkward adult.
Well, you repeat
Right.
that after I said he's.
No, I was
said he's
literally
not a teen
saying it
after-
as you.
I know, but I said
you
my part
spoke
first.
over me.
I said.
You
my
can't
sentence
speak
first.
over me
You
and then
can't-
say
you
you've
can't
negated
repeat
it.
yourself.
Jack, reel it in here. Shut up! Come on. Listen to the fucking judge. All right.
Hey, okay, stop.
All right.
Right.
I'm trying to say a point here.
No. Right, I got your point. We're doing another one.
Look, can I just say that last thing about the hair? Because the hair flick
He's being
is
childish.
the hair flick is the epitome. It's
He's
supposed to
being
look.
childish, Shane.
It's
Oh,
supposed to
turn this
look.
car around.
It's
We will not
supposed
watch Spider-Man 3 again.
It's supposed to look fucking awful.
Okay, my third thing is kind of tied into a larger argument, but I think I'm just going to zero in on something. It actually ends, and I know there was a plan for a fourth film, but generally, like, the Harry stuff comes to a nice conclusion. It's properly rounded off and finished. Peter and Mary Jane are admittedly back where they were at the beginning, but their whole drama is sort of resolved. And things are generally resolved, and it kind of comes sort of full circle. He does resolve the Harry and Peter thing. It properly does end. That is
It only ends because he's dead.
Aunt May thing gets resolved. The Peter and Mary Jane, thank you, I've got it. Peter and Mary Jane thing gets resolved. Venom is introduced and resolved very abruptly. Sandman's thing has a proper arc as well, so it's not like he's teased to come back or left hanging. He fully resolved
But at the
himself.
same
And
time-
so does that means the Uncle Ben stuff is reopened and then re-resolved because he's able to come to terms with it with a new guy. And I've already said the Harry and Peter stuff. There's a lot of things that come full circle.
Should we clean up then?
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
this one, I'm gonna give this point to Harrison, just because while I do agree with you, the fact that Tobey Maguire is the best Spider-Man, this film does not work with that argument. It's 1 and 2,
I've got to find.
but the fact that I know you argued the fact that you couldn't remember and it's unfair, but
That's because there are.
there's no Tobey Maguire.
There must
scenes
be
to focus
some.
on.
No.
I'm gonna go home and watch the film again and make
Oh,
notes.
don't do that.
Yes, there's no need for self-harm. And then also, I agree with Harrison's point that there is actually quite a lot of conclusion in it. It does actually manage to wrap up basically every plot line.
There isn't really anything left.
Some
hanging.
trilogies, even good trilogies, struggle to manage.
That's fair.
Dark Knight Rises didn't.
Yeah.
It really
Dark Knight
struggled.
Rises was a mess.
Okay, so this is actually the reason. My biggest defense here is that this is probably the most sincere thing I'm going to say about Spider-Man 3. I know it's not the best defense, but it's also the most sincere one I have. It's the one I most mean. The dancing sequence
No!
is
No.
actually very enjoyable. If you
No!
watch it ironically.
That is fucking
No.
clutching at
It's
straws
not.
right
It's
there.
You said we're not allowed to use
No,
the
no,
dancing
use it
scene.
against people. We're allowed to use it to
I
prop
think
it up.
that.
Either way, not just that, but even the point itself. Even if we
It's
allow
ironic.
you the point,
Yeah, you can enjoy it.
it's
enjoyable.
No, it's not.
It's
It's,
awful.
horrible.
Yeah, that's why it's good.
so fucking horrible.
And that's why it's
How can you get
enjoyable.
any? You
Because
enjoy
it's
self harm.
It's like watching,
what you're saying is
it's
you're
like-
a masochist.
No, it's like
right
watching.
now.
It's like watching David Brent dancing. It's just
No,
so
it's not.
embarrassing,
It's so
and
much-
curling.
no.
It's just horrible.
No, that's no.
I meant
That's
it.
masochism right there.
I meant it.
Jack, come on, that's clutching at straws. right there.
I'm not letting you have that.
Oh, so
point,
can I have
I'm
another
sorry.
one, or is that just?
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
fine.
I'm not saying because I think that should be disqualified because
Okay,
you
it's
said we're not
disqualified.
allowed to
No,
use
another
them.
one. Okay. The black suit looks nice.
Looks nice.
It's borderline. It depends if.
Okay.
Do you have a better one?
Yeah, I
Borderline.
do. I do.
Yeah.
Topher Grace aside, most of the acting is actually pretty solid.
You think?
Yeah, I think Thomas Hayden Church does really quite well here.
Is this not too close to the Peter Parker? You've already used the Peter Parker point. Now you
No, I'm going on the Thomas Hayden
this
Church.
is all characters.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to exclude Peter Parker.
Thomas Hayden Church is very emotional in this one. I really bought the arc he has with his daughter. I felt it was very genuine, and considering he's a villain, I always felt that there was reason for his actions. I always felt there was sympathy behind him as a villain.
I wouldn't argue it's amazing, the acting, but it's a better point than a costume is cool. I have to
Oh, the costume is a part of it. It's a value. I imagine that the
It's
person
just-
who designed that costume is going to be very upset that you said
It's
that.
the same costume in a
That
different
they
colour.
worked so hard.
It's just DLC.
That's ridiculous.
That's one quick fire. Right, next one.
Danny Elfman's score is still good, and it actually has some new stuff in there too.
Right.
Seeing Spider-Man swing around New York is still awesome.
When it does remember that the black suit story is supposed to be dark, Spider-Man kills Sandman. Or he thinks he kills Sandman. And that bit's genuinely good, and that bit is like, that's what this is supposed to be like.
I think it plays the comic book characters themselves pretty well in terms of Gwen Stacy and Captain Stacy and Mary Jane.
I'm just losing the will to live with
The
this.
too.
score is good. The score
Right.
is good.
Should we just give up?
Right, Harrison has won.
Woo!
Because he won 2 of the main
Oh,
points out of
Shelley.
3, and overall you were quite equal with the quick
That was
fire.
shit in the quick fire.
Yeah, you were quite equal with the quick fire because you had the point about the characters, you had the point about the score. I'd say those are the best 2 of the. Right.
Even the parts that are quite good aren't that good.
No, they're not, are they?
They're really
No.
not. Don't watch Spider-Man 3.
Thank you for probably not watching all the way through this
Yeah.
episode.
Well, I've got to go think about my life.
Thank you for watching the opinions. We may watch them.
I'm sorry.
Okay. See you next time, I think.
That film is
I
evil.
feel like we just broke each other.